She called me crying, said she'd been mugged. I tracked her phone to a motel. She was fine, but her mugger was giving her a back rub and calling her Bunny. My name's Eric, 33. IT guy. Nothing flashy. Grew up in Michigan. Married the love of my life at 26. Rachel. She was a nurse. Always had that calming presence. Soft voice, warm eyes, the kind of woman that made you feel grounded just by sitting next to her. I used to joke that being around her calmed me down more than any medication ever could. We met at a trivia night. She beat me on an obscure Harry Potter question and then offered to buy me a drink. I was toast after that. We had 7 years of what I thought was stability. Love. Even after we went through hell 2 years ago, something that ripped a piece of both of us out, I thought we were stronger. She cried in my arms. I cried in hers. We held on tighter. But I learned something the night of the mugging. I learned I was the only one holding on. It was a Thursday, late March. Cold but not snowing. I remember that because I just changed over to my spring tires that afternoon and was second-guessing it. She called me around 11:12 p.m. I was halfway asleep on the couch, Netflix still playing. Her voice was shaking, crying, stuttering over words. She said she'd been mugged outside her hospital after a late shift. Said some guy jumped her, yanked her purse, shoved her against the wall. Said her phone was almost dead and she was using some clerk's charger at a gas station. I could barely understand her through the sobbing. I was up instantly, shoes on, heart in my throat. I asked which gas station. She said she didn't know the name, somewhere off exit 14, near that cheap Mexican restaurant we used to stop at after hiking. Please, just come get me, she begged. Then the line cut. I grabbed my phone, tried to call back. Nothing. Straight to voicemail. I hit Find My and waited. There she was. Pinged. Active. But it wasn't near a gas station. It was a motel. A cheap one. That sick green light. Rust on the sign. Hourly rate kind of place. Called the Sunset Inn. Not even 10 minutes from our house. I remember staring at the map like I was reading it wrong. Refreshing it over and over. Hoping it would move. Hoping the signal would jump somewhere else. Praying the tech was just glitching. It didn't move. And neither did I. For a solid minute I just sat. Cold. Confused. Then the rage hit. I tore out of the driveway and drove faster than I have in my life. I don't remember the drive. I remember my hands shaking. I remember the pressure pounding in my ears. I remember thinking she's lying. Why would she lie? I remember the moment I knew I wasn't going to find her hurt in a gas station. The sun set and sat between a boarded-up diner and a vape shop. The parking lot had 5 cars. One of them was hers. I walked up to room 112. Her location said she was inside. I knocked. No answer. I knocked again. Harder. Then I tried the knob. It was unlocked. I stepped inside. And the world broke. She was sitting on the edge of the bed, her hair wet, wrapped in a towel. Laughing. Someone was behind her, massaging her shoulders. Shirtless. Tall. Tan. Big tattoo running down his arm. A snake wrapped around a sword. I froze. She didn't see me at first, but he did. He looked right at me and smirked. Then he said casual, like we were old friends. Hey, Bunny. Think your hubby just walked in. She jerked around. Her face went pale. And then she had the nerve to gasp like I was the one doing something wrong. I said nothing. I couldn't. My mouth wouldn't open. My lungs wouldn't work. My legs barely held me up. She started to stammer. Eric, wait. It's not. Listen. He just stretched like he was on a damn beach and said, Guess we're done with that back rub, huh? I turned around and walked out. She didn't follow me. That night was ice. Just pure, freezing silence inside my head. I drove for hours with no destination. Parked in a grocery store lot and sat until the sun came up. She called. I didn't pick up. She texted. Please. Let me explain. I stared at it. Then turned my phone off. I wasn't angry. Not yet. I was nothing. It was like someone hit mute on the whole world. I just sat there, hearing his voice in my head again. That stupid nickname. Bunny! And that smug smirk like he knew who I was and didn't care. Like I was a joke. I didn't go home for 3 days. Didn't answer my phone. Didn't talk to anyone. Barely ate. Just drove aimlessly or sat in my car watching the world move around me like I wasn't part of it anymore. Every few hours, I'd turn my phone back on just long enough to see the notifications pile up. 12 missed calls from Rachel. 4 voicemails. Dozens of texts. The first ones were all variations of panic. Where are you? Please don't do anything stupid. Just come home. Please. I can explain everything. Then they got quieter. I messed up. You don't understand. It's not what it looked like. I need you. We can get past this. That one made me laugh out loud. We can get past this. Like we were both victims of some shared tragedy. Like I just stumbled into that motel and she just accidentally fell into some tattooed guy's arms. I finally went home on Sunday. Not because I wanted to. Because I had to shower, change clothes, feed the cat. That was it. I unlocked the door and found the place spotless. Her stuff was still there. Her keys on the hook. Her shoes by the door. Her perfume hanging in the air like she'd only just left. She wasn't there though. Just a note on the counter. I'm at my sister's. Please talk to me when you're ready. I love you. I tore the note in half and dropped it in the sink. Didn't even realize I was crying until I looked in the mirror. The worst part wasn't the image of her in that towel, or the sound of that guy calling her bunny. It was the lie. That phone call, that panicked, crying voice, it wasn't a heat-of-the-moment mistake. That was premeditated. She pretended to be mugged. She faked a crime to cover up screwing some guy in a motel bed. That's not just cheating. That's psychotic. And I started asking myself something I hadn't allowed before. Who the hell have I been married to all this time? She didn't stop texting. Every morning, a new message. Like clockwork. Still thinking about you. I miss us. I'm not perfect, but I'm yours. I'm sorry, Eric. Please come talk to me. And then the guilt bombs started. I know I ruined everything. But you don't know what it's been like. After the miscarriage, I felt like I lost a piece of myself. I felt invisible. That one punched me in the chest. Because yeah, I remembered those nights. I remembered the silence in bed, the way she'd flinch when I touched her. I remembered trying, therapy, date nights, space, but she kept closing off. I just never thought she was closing herself off for someone else. The first real conversation didn't come from her. It came from her sister, Kelsey. She texted me on Monday night. Hey, I'm not taking sides, but I think you should talk to her. I stared at that message for a long time before responding. I typed, "You knew?" Then deleted it. Instead I sent, "No." She replied with a thumbs down emoji. Then followed with, "She's not evil. She just messed up. She's really hurting, Eric." I wanted to throw my phone across the room. She's hurting? She's the one who's hurting? I called Kelsey. My hands were shaking. She picked up, chipper as ever. I said, "Where were you Thursday night?" She paused. "What?" "Rachel said she was at your place. Said she got mugged walking out of your building." "Was that before or after the back rub?" Silence. Long silence. Then quiet. She told me not to say anything. I hung up. That's when the rage kicked in. Because it wasn't just Rachel. Kelsey knew. Kelsey helped her. And now she was texting me like some neutral party, trying to play therapist while actively covering for her cheating sister. I stopped answering both of them. Started digging instead. It's amazing what you can find if you know where to look. I checked Rachel's Google timeline history. She hadn't deleted it. The motel had a few prior visits, including one on Valentine's Day. While I was home alone, thinking she'd picked up a double shift, I found a photo on Kelsey's Instagram from that same night. A wine bottle. Motel wallpaper in the background. Caption: "Girls' night with my ride-or-die red heart." That same snake sword tattooed arm was barely visible on the left side. That wasn't a girl. I pulled her Venmo history next. 2 payments from Rachel to Kelsey in the past month. One said, "T-checks face-blowing kiss." The other, "Covered you again lol." She didn't just cheat on me. She built a little network around it. Lies stacked like bricks. Her sister. The fake stories. The timing. The performances. I wasn't living in a marriage. I was living on a stage. I waited a week. A full week of silence. Not a word to Rachel. Not a word to Kelsey. Just me, my thoughts, and a growing digital trail of their lies unraveling by the hour. I wasn't ready to scream. Not yet. I was ready to ruin. I printed everything. Every GPS ping. Every Venmo payment. Screenshots of her Google location history, one in particular from a random Tuesday morning when she said she'd picked up an extra shift. That dot was not at the hospital. It was behind a Planet Fitness parking lot. Same address as the Sunset Inn. Even had the audacity to label the trip homework. Rachel was cheating and lazy enough not to turn off the timeline tracker. Then I added Kelsey's Instagram photos, especially the one from Valentine's Day. Cropped, zoomed, enhanced, snake tattoo, motel wallpaper, timestamp. I even managed to pull some basic info from the guy's profile. Snake arm. He wasn't private. Mutual follows with both Rachel and Kelsey. His bio? Healer, lover, adventurer, straight shooter. DM me for Reiki. His name was Clay. Of course it was. Saturday afternoon, I sent a group text. I'll be coming by Rachel's parents' house tomorrow at 4. Please be there. You too, Kelsey. I didn't get any replies. Didn't need them. I knew they'd show. I walked in wearing the same thing I wore to our wedding rehearsal dinner. Fitted navy shirt, black jeans, clean boots. Not because I was trying to look good. Because I wanted to remind her who she threw away. Rachel was sitting on the couch next to her mom. Pale. Hair pulled back like she hadn't slept. Kelsey was near the window, arms crossed, sunglasses still on indoors. Her dad stood near the fireplace like he wasn't sure if he was refereeing or about to throw someone through a wall. I sat down across from them. Calm. Cold. No one spoke first. So I did. I placed the folder on the coffee table. Opened it. Her eyes flicked down. Then widened. Then dropped. I didn't even have to say anything. First page was the motel receipts. Dates, times, screenshots from her GPS history. Then the Venmo transactions. Then the Instagram photo. Then the text I'd sent her she never responded to. One on Valentine's Day saying, "Hope your double shift goes okay. Love you." Her mom reached for a page. Her dad stopped her. Still, no one said a word. Then Rachel whispered, "You went through my stuff?" I laughed. Couldn't help it. "I went through the stuff you forgot to delete." Her face crumpled. Not into tears. Into panic. Pure, exposed panic. She looked at her dad like he might somehow rewind this moment, fix it for her. Then at Kelsey. And that's when the rail break happened. I turned to Kelsey. "You want to explain the wine night? Or should I let your Instagram do it?" Her sunglasses came off. "I was just trying to help her, okay?" She was spiraling. Help her cheat on me? She didn't mean to. It started as, "Look, they met in a group thing. It wasn't like some big plan." Rachel suddenly snapped. "Stop talking." But I kept going. "She was mugged, right? That's the story? Funny, because her phone said she was at the Sunset Inn. And your payment says covered you again. So what exactly were you covering for?" Kelsey looked down. Rachel's dad said quietly, "Jesus Christ." Then Rachel exploded. "You don't understand what it's been like since the miscarriage. You stopped seeing me. You buried yourself in work. I felt like a damn roommate in my own house." I stood. "Then leave me. Don't lie to me." Her mouth opened. Nothing came out. I walked to the door. Her mom finally spoke up. "Eric, please. Don't walk away from her like this. Not in front of us." I turned. "Why not?" She didn't mind letting Clay rub her back in front of me. Her dad barked. "Who the hell is Clay?" I dropped a final screenshot on the table. Snake Arm's dating profile. Healer. Lover. Reiki boy. I didn't look back. Just left them all sitting in a circle of lies, screenshots, and their own failure to recognize a good man from the one they tried to replace him with. She texted me the next day. "You humiliated me in front of my family." I didn't reply. What I wanted to say was, "No. You humiliated yourself." I just opened the curtains. That week, I packed a suitcase. Moved into a rental. Didn't even bother taking the framed photos. Left those face down on the shelf. I filed for divorce on Wednesday. Her response was 3 lines long. "I wish you'd talk to me. I made a mistake. I still love you." No denial. No fight. Because what was she going to argue? She'd lied about a mugging to cover a motel back rub from a guy who called her Bunny. 2 days after I filed the divorce paperwork, her mom called me. I didn't answer. She left a voicemail, trembling, half crying, half angry. "I just don't understand how you can give up on her like this. You two were everything. That motel crap wasn't love, it was a mistake. Everyone makes mistakes. But you, this is cruel, Eric. Cruel. Cruel." The words sat in my chest like a nail driven into bone. Not betrayed. Not blindsided. Not humiliated by a daughter who faked a felony to sleep with a stranger. No. The problem was me. Because I didn't let her spin the story. Because I left before she could twist it. Because I pulled the curtain back and walked away instead of giving her a second chance to spit in my face. The more I stayed silent, the more the text turned. At first it was guilt. Please talk to her. She's not okay. At least hear her out. Then came the shame. Marriage is hard, but this is heartless. You aired her mistakes in front of everyone. What does that make you? I didn't answer any of them. Didn't need to. Because 2 nights later, I found out the truth was worse than I imagined. I got a message from Rachel's cousin Jenna. We hadn't talked in months. She moved out west. We were always cool though. Used to joke about being the only sane ones at family reunions. She sent me one line. You should know this isn't the first time. I froze. My hands went numb. I messaged back. What are you talking about? What she told me changed everything. 4 years ago, right around the time Rachel got that girls' trip to Chicago, she'd met a guy at a hotel bar. Slept with him. Confessed it to Kelsey the next morning. Kelsey told Jenna in a panic. Jenna thought I knew. Apparently, the story was that Rachel had told me, and I'd forgiven her privately. I never even knew it happened. That entire trip, she came home, handed me a Cubs jersey, kissed me like she missed me, and crawled into bed like nothing had happened. Jenna sounded wrecked over the phone. I always thought something didn't add up. I kept waiting for it to come out. Then when I saw what happened with Clay, it hit me. She's just like this. She hides it, spins it, buries it with guilt and tears. And people let her. People like me. People like Kelsey. I sat there staring at the wall. 4 years of thinking we were rock solid, all a lie. Every laugh, every vacation, every inside joke, every I love you, all layered on top of something rotting. She had a pattern. Rachel didn't just cheat. She erased. She rewrote timelines. She dropped confessions into whispers, dumped guilt on her sister, let everyone else carry her shame so she could walk around unbothered. I wasn't her husband. I was her audience. That weekend, she showed up at my apartment, didn't call first. Just stood outside the door in sweats, makeup smeared, hair in a bun. She looked like she hadn't slept in a week. I opened the door halfway. She whispered, "Please, can I come in?" I didn't answer. Just stepped aside. She walked in like she knew the layout, like this was home, like she hadn't blown a grenade through our marriage 3 weeks ago. She turned around, eyes full of tears. "I'm sorry." I stayed quiet. She stepped closer. "I know you probably hate me." Still silent. "I know what I did. And I know I said things to make it easier for me. But you were the best thing that ever happened to me. And I destroyed it." I finally spoke. "You destroyed me. Not it. Me." She nodded. No argument. Just tears. "I don't want anything from you," she said. "Not money. Not the house. I just didn't want you to think I never loved you." I stared at her for a long time, then said, "Tell me about Chicago." Her breath caught, and I watched her collapse. That was the moment it all came out. The hotel bar. The guy's name was Austin. He bought her a drink after Kelsey bailed early on the trip. She was drunk, lonely, and thought I was distant at the time. She felt seen. Sound familiar? She said she regretted it immediately. That she told Kelsey and promised never to tell anyone else. Kelsey agreed to bury it. Said she'd handle it if it ever came up. And that's how they operated. Lie, cry, bury, smile, repeat. She stood in my doorway shaking. I could see in her eyes she wanted forgiveness. Not because she deserved it, but because she thought it was possible. But I didn't give her what she wanted. I gave her the truth. You never loved me. You just loved the version of you I let you be. The good woman. The hero. But that's not who you are. And deep down you know it. She sobbed into her hands. I opened the door and waited. Eventually she left. Didn't look back. It had been 3 weeks since Rachel showed up crying in my doorway. I hadn't heard from her since. Not directly anyway. But the damage control campaign started immediately. Kelsey posted some fake deep Instagram story. People make mistakes. Loyalty means standing by someone when it's ugly. Not walking away. She didn't name me, but the subtext was as clear as the sweat on Clay's back in that motel room. Her mom texted again. This time, fewer tears, more shade. It hurts to see a man become so cold. The Eric I knew had a heart. I left her on read. Even Rachel's best friend, Melissa, who hated Kelsey, took her side. She DM'd me out of nowhere. "Ratch is really struggling, but you don't seem to care. What happened to compassion?" I typed out. "She lied about being mugged to cover a motel affair with a dude who calls her Bunny." Then deleted it. Didn't respond. I was done explaining myself to people who never gave a damn about the truth. I just started getting my balance back, signed the lease on a new apartment, took up jiu-jitsu, cleaned up my eating. The quiet felt like air returning to my lungs, until Clay decided to enter the chat, in person. It was a Monday afternoon. Office was quiet. Most of the team worked remote, so it was just me and 2 developers in the bullpen. The receptionist buzzed me. "Hey, there's a guy out front asking for you. Says his name's Clay?" I felt my stomach twist. I walked out to the lobby and there he was. Black tee, arms crossed. That stupid snake sword tattoo glaring at me like it wanted round 2. I said, "You got 5 seconds to tell me what the hell you're doing here." He smirked. "She asked me to come?" I blinked. "Rachel?" He nodded. "She wanted me to apologize, man to man. Said you deserved that." I stared at him, then laughed. "You expect me to believe she sent you here with a peace offering?" He held up his hands. "Hey, I'm just the messenger." Then he pulled a folded note from his pocket. I didn't take it. He placed it on the chair next to him, like some passive-aggressive magic trick. "She wrote you something. Thought it might help you, move forward." I stepped closer. "You slept with my wife, lied to my face, and now you're standing in my workplace like we're gonna hug this out?" His smirk didn't move, so I did. I leaned in and said real quiet, "Get out before I break your Reiki bones one by one." His face finally twitched. He left. Didn't take the note. I picked it up, tore it into 4 clean pieces, and dropped it in the trash before I walked back to my desk. Later that night, I got a text from an unknown number. "He was just trying to help. You didn't have to threaten him." Rachel. "Still trying to play the puppeteer," I replied. "Next time you send a guy to fix things, make sure he's not wearing the same shirt he slept with you in." Blocked her. The next week, HR pulled me into a private meeting. Apparently Clay had sent an email to my boss claiming I'd threatened him violently and jeopardized client safety. I showed the head of HR the security cam footage from the lobby. Just Clay standing there like a dope with a folded note and zero context. I kept my job. But now everyone at the office knew some version of the story. Then the fallout finally started hitting the people who deserved it. One of Rachel's coworkers, a nurse named Danny, messaged me through LinkedIn of all places. Said Rachel got written up for missing a mandatory shift without notice. The date? Valentine's Day. Danny said she only connected the dots after seeing Rachel crying in the locker room and blaming me for ruining her life. Apparently Rachel told the staff that I had been the abusive one, that I'd publicly humiliated her to get revenge. Danny didn't buy it. "I saw her change last year. She started leaving early, dodging questions, snapping at patients. You didn't ruin her, Eric. You exposed her." That message felt like oxygen. Finally, someone saw it. But Rachel wasn't done yet, because Kelsey couldn't keep her damn mouth shut. And Rachel? She still had one last grenade to throw. And it came in the form of an accidental leak. It started as a whisper, then a screenshot, then a full-blown wildfire. I woke up on a Sunday morning to 32 unread texts, 8 missed calls, 3 voicemails from my boss. One from a college friend I hadn't spoken to in years. The first message I opened said, "Yo, did you really threaten to hurt yourself if she left?" My stomach dropped. I opened the next one. "Man, I'm not judging. I just didn't know you were in that kind of place." And another. "You good, dude? I saw the texts Rachel posted." Texts? What? Texts? I jumped on my computer, opened Instagram, and there it was. Rachel's alt account. Not her main page. She was too careful for that. But the one she used to post her raw thoughts and healing journey. The one with 800 followers of mostly girls she met through nursing groups and Kelsey's little influencer clique. She posted a black screen with a caption. "Sometimes people weaponize their pain. Sometimes they hold you hostage with their trauma. I stayed silent long enough. I'm done protecting him. Hashtag mental abuse, hashtag emotional manipulation, hashtag truth matters." Swipe once. A screenshot. A cropped, out-of-context message from me, dated right after I found out about the motel. "I don't know how to live with this. I can't breathe. I want to disappear." Swipe again, another. "You ruined everything. I don't see a way back. Maybe I should just leave for good." That was it. No context. No reply. No lead-in. Just me, broken, raw, begging for answers, painted as unstable. Framed like I'd threatened to hurt myself if she left. I should have been furious. But I wasn't. I was tired. Tired of the manipulation. Tired of the performative victimhood. Tired of her trying to rewrite the story when she was the one who lit the match. So I didn't respond. I let her cook. And within 48 hours, her little story started to fall apart. First blow came from Jenna. Yeah, that Jenna. Rachel's cousin? She commented on the post publicly. You forgot to include the part where you cheated and lied about being mugged. Selective screenshots don't make you a victim. They make you a manipulator. Boom. Then Kelsey jumped in. Tried to clap back. Stay in your lane, Jenna. You don't know what it was like. But that was a mistake. Because Jenna does know. And she came armed. She posted her own screenshots. Rachel's messages from the week of the motel disaster. Texts she sent to Kelsey like, he's never gonna find out. I cried a little, said it was a mugging. He totally bought it. That last one hit like a hammer. Now people were asking questions. Wait, she lied about being attacked? Why would she fake a mugging? This doesn't add up. Then Danny, Rachel's coworker, DM'd me again. Said some of the nurses at the hospital had seen the post, and now there were formal complaints being filed. Why? Because Rachel had used her hospital's name in the caption tags. Hashtag nurse strong, hashtag healing, hashtag mental health awareness, hashtag hospital name. Apparently admin didn't love being associated with fake abuse accusations and a cheating scandal going viral. By Tuesday, the post was deleted. Her whole alt account? Gone. She texted me that night. I didn't think it would blow up like that. I just needed people to know I wasn't the only one who messed up. The gall of that. I didn't reply, but I screenshotted it, for myself, as a reminder of the way she always folded truth into fiction like she was making origami. The fallout was nuclear. Kelsey deleted a bunch of her influencer content, turned off comments, posted some cryptic story about taking time to reflect. Rachel's hospital opened a formal ethics review. I heard from Jenna that her parents were now fully siding with me, even Rachel's dad, who used to call me the boring one, apparently told her, "You want to play victim? Then pack your bags and move in with your little healer, Clay." Gone. Blocked her on everything. Guess Reiki boy didn't like bad PR. I didn't say a word through all of it. No posts, no subs, no drama. Just one text to Jenna. "Thank you." She wrote back, "You deserve better. Always did." And still, even with the world crashing down around her, Rachel had one more move left. She asked to meet, face to face, one final time. We met at the same cafe where we used to go every Saturday morning. She picked the spot, probably hoping nostalgia would soften me. It didn't. I sat at a corner table, back to the wall, facing the door. Watched her walk in late, wrapped in a big sweater like she thought hiding under fabric would make her smaller. She didn't order anything. Just sat down across from me and stared like she expected a hug or a handshake, or something. I said nothing. She started talking. "I've been in therapy," she said, eyes glassy. I nodded once. "I'm trying to figure out why I did what I did. Why I keep doing it. The lies. The cheating. The spinning. All of it." She looked away, then back. "I know I hurt you. More than I even understand. And I'm not asking for forgiveness." That caught me off guard. But then she added, "I'm asking for understanding." There it was. The twist. She launched into it like she'd been rehearsing. Talked about their mom, the way she used to guilt them, cry if they messed up, blame her problems on them. Said she never really learned how to take responsibility because she was raised to perform, not repair. Said Kelsey enabled her because they both lived off the same emotional currency, attention. She claimed the cheating wasn't about lust. It was about feeling wanted in the moment. Wanted, needed, worshipped. It was a drug, and Clay was just the latest hit. Then came the real bomb. He wasn't the first, and he wasn't the last. I stared at her. Didn't blink. "There were others?" I asked quietly. She nodded. "One was during year 3. A patient's son. Another was after the miscarriage. Just one night." I felt the air in the room shift, like the lights dimmed, even though nothing moved. She added, like it made it better, "But they weren't emotional. They didn't mean anything. You were still the one I came home to." I laughed. Dark, low, bitter. "You cheated on me and lied about it, repeatedly. Used your sister to cover it up. Faked a mugging. Lied to your job. Smeared my name. But I should understand?" She blinked, lips parting like she was about to cry. Then I saw it. Not guilt. Not pain. Fear. She knew this was it. The final moment. The last card. So she played it. I was pregnant. I stopped breathing. She said it so softly I thought I imagined it. She nodded again, slowly. Before Clay. Before the motel. I didn't tell you. It wasn't planned. She looked at her hands, shaking slightly. I lost it early. Didn't even go to the doctor. But I didn't tell you because I thought, maybe it was a sign, that I wasn't ready to be a mom. Not to a good man. Not to you. That's when I finally spoke. You were never ready to be honest, Rachel. That's the only thing that mattered. She sobbed then. For real. Shoulders shaking, head in her hands, gasping like she wanted me to reach across the table and comfort her. But I didn't move. Not an inch. I let her cry. Let her break. Let her stew in the truth that she spent years burying beneath tears and performances and manipulations. Then I stood up. She looked up at me like someone about to be left behind. I said just 3 words. We're done here. And I walked out. Didn't turn around. Didn't wait for her to follow. Didn't care who saw her. Let the whole damn cafe witness what it looks like when the mask finally falls and nobody claps. 1 year later. I'm not angry anymore. That's the part no one talks about. How the silence after the storm isn't sad. It's sacred. I've got a new apartment. A new job across the state. I run 3 miles a day and sleep better than I ever have. I met someone. I haven't told her the full story yet, because for once, I'm not in a rush to explain the wreckage someone else caused. I just want peace. As for Rachel, Jenna told me she and Kelsey aren't speaking anymore. Clay ghosted her. The hospital cut her hours. Her last public post was a quote. Some people leave to protect their peace. Others leave because they finally see the truth. She was trying to sound deep, but I saw the irony. I didn't leave because I saw the truth. I left because I stopped trying to fix the lie.